I think 91 was characterized by being just a scarcity economy. It was scarcity at every level, right? Like, I mean, there was like everything which you think of is a regular feature today, whether it's television sets or, sort of air conditioning or even transportation. There was like just enormous amount of scarcity on that. Even for booking television sets, there used to be a waiting period, which is unimaginable today because you can just order it off the internet today and somebody will come and deliver it to you. So that was the stage in which we grew up in. I still remember when during Asiad we got color television for the first time in India, and the telecast was horrendous because as you saw people running like a soccer match, you would have this additional color patch which would follow individual soccer players who were running through. I have that distinct memory of that being like awful. We were starved for good variety of international class, sort of sports and entertainment. And I remember at that point of time in Calcutta, what would happen is because we had these antennas which used to be on the terrace, they would catch signals. There was no set-top box and all this at that point of time. That would catch the signals from international television which was being aired in Bangladesh, and the antennas would catch that, and that was our way to catch international sporting events at that point of time. So current generation cannot even imagine as to how what it was to be in that kind of an environment of predominantly state socialism where economic opportunities were limited, where there was very little openness in terms of being able to engage with rest of the world. And I can go on this entire thing about going to the library. I mean, even in JNU, when I was there in the early 90s, going to the library and staying there, like sitting in your seat till late evening just to finish your research in time, waiting to get for your turn for your book catalog. Things I think which students can't even imagine today because all the information is readily accessible. It's available at your fingertip in order to invest in your own self-development. Find those opportunities which you really want to invest in. It was quite horrendous. There's another story which I wanted to share because it resonates a lot with me. And during in those times, universities did not have websites, right? And you really, in Calcutta, a lot of us were writing our competitive exams to come to JNU to study, particularly if you study social sciences. It was aspirational to come to JNU and get that postgraduate degree and education. And there was no way that you could access that information unless it was, of course, word of mouth, finding an alum. Or the Times of India, the Delhi edition, used to come out with the notices for the admission notice. And we would get that newspaper a day later in Calcutta, I remember. We would pay 5 rupees for a deferred copy of Times of India to come to us in Calcutta. And I remember we normally would not subscribe to Times of India because you had local newspapers in Calcutta. And I remember we subscribed to that during that exam season for a period of over 3 months to ensure that we did not miss that advert. It's unimaginable today, the lengths to which you had to go to just access information so that you could apply for a university examination, right? So I really cannot celebrate scarcity economy because I really think it chills opportunities in a way which we cannot even think of today.